Hi guys, Silla here. So, I think we're all on the Rise of the Beast hype train. I really don't remember when was the last time I was this excited about a mainstream movie, and it seems the whole world is also excited about it. We have all the promotions about it. The special statues going all around the world, lots of TV spots, Bumblebee runs his own TikTok channel. Of course, we also have the toys, some restaurants are having special meals, and much more. But you know what? For me it's missing one thing. A combination of the last two. Like the release in the year 1996, Beast Wars McDonald's toys.
Buy your kids a $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal. They can choose a cool Transformer figure in special boxes with punch-outs or trading cards. One with each littlest Pet Shop Transformers Happy Meal.
Beetle, Manta Ray, Panther and Rhino were released as McDonald's promo toys in April of the year 1996. There was also a fifth one named Under 3 that was intended for children under 3 years old, but sadly I didn't manage to get him on the time for this review. As mentioned earlier, this promotion ran during the April of 1996 alongside fellow Hasbro's toy line, Littlest Pet Shop. Each toy was of course added to a Happy Meal. The boxes included punch-out cards with this lovely artwork, which I don't see a lot of people talking about, and some cringy dad jokes. What do you get when you cross on a beetle and a robot? I don't know, but it's crawling on your leg. Oh, that's for sure some joke to do with if you're holding the toy of Beetle. This is the one that they put in the commercial, they thought it was this good. Why do robots keep batteries in their wallets? They like to charge everything. I really didn't believe that the commercial wasn't making them up, but the ad also had this lovely quote in it.
Hey Vanessa, wanna see my beetle?
Before we get on the toys, let's talk about the story behind the development, since it's unironically something really interesting. As revealed on Instagram post made by Robotic Planet Toys on the 27th of December 2020, during the early development process of Beast Wars, there was a proposal for a G2 subline of auto rollers that turned into animals. And if we look at those concept arts, we see that those concepts probably simply morphed into McDonald's toys. The concept of all the bots just being different G1 guys adapting animal modes explains some design details that I will mention later. At first we have Beetle. The concept of a beetle probably spawned from a proposed Megatron that turned into a dragonfly. We can see a leftover of that in his head sculpt, which is eerily similar to the Megaligator toy. Beetle is a Predacon that's a master of surprise attack. The bio given to him by the Beast Wars sourcebook states that this toy is actually in scale, since as all Maximus and Predacons decided to downsize during the Great Upgrade, the Beetle, instead of going to mini size, went straight into micro size. But it worked for him, since he is a really antisocial, so anything that differentiates him from other bots is good for him. Sourcebook also states that the only reason Beetle joined the Predacons is that he loves to torture and interrogate his victims. Grim. As a toy, Beetle stands at around 7.5 centimeters and is cast in this really soft and rubbery burgundy, green, yellow and grey plastic with red and green paint for face detail. And the first thing you see looking at him is the massive hole in his chest. Sadly, due to the way he transforms, he has a massive gap under his chest. For articulation, Beetle has his arms on an outward hinge and double hinged legs, which actually allow him to pull off some silly poses. Also, fun fact, the Japanese guidebook named him Insecticon, probably confusing him for this, but all media portrays them as different characters, so that's what we stay here with in the West. To transform Beetle, you simply flip up his chest, pull up his legs, and close his arms, and bam, presto, you get a cute 8 cm long Stag Beetle. Mine is a bit scuffed, but that comes with age. Next up we have Manta. The concept of Manta Ray started as an Optimus Prime toy that turned into a Manta Ray to go against Megatron, which turned into a turtle. Probably like a water counterpart to the Bat vs Croc toy. So their pronouns. Manta has an Eraser situation where they are male in Japan but female in Western media. As a person, Manta Ray is a Predacon Energy Scout. Equipped with great energy sensor in her beast mode, she can easily track any power sources hidden in the depth of oceans. Sadly, Manta is a bit sick in the head, causing her to often talk to herself. and even get into arguments with nobody. It's probably caused as a consequence of spending too much time alone in the depths of ocean. I feel she would easily befriend Submarder, who also doesn't have all the shells on his beach, if you know what I mean. Manta is also equipped with toxic gas she can emit when threatened. As a toy, Manta stands at around 8 cm tall and is cast in blue and peach plastic with dark blue, turquoise and silver for details. I love the breathing apparatus tubes molded into her chest and head. For articulation, Manta can rotate her head, arms move up and down, and rotate her legs. To transform Manta, you'd rotate her head, close down the Manta head, and rotate the legs. In Manta mode, Manta is cute. True, she has awful kibble on the underside, but from the top, I like how both shades of blue nicely go with each other, and by moving the head on a hinge, you can kinda fake an articulated opening mouth. After that we have Panther. The idea of Panther was born from a prototype Cheetor, who was a Black Panther prowl. You can still see it in head, where Cheetor shares the head crest with the Datsun mold. Panther is also an odd fellow, taking every little thing as an exciting mission and possibility for adventure. And while on his travels, he loves to narrate to himself in third person, which often leads to him getting found out while trying to sneak around. As a toy, Panther stands at around 10 cm tall. The Panther is cast mostly in black and white plastic, with limbs having red and blue parts. Panther also has some silver on his face, and I don't know if I have some issues with mine, but his eyes look like he was stung by a bee. Panther is really nicely articulated. The head rotates. His arms can rotate 360, hinge out, bend in elbow, rotate in thigh, hinge out in thighs and bend in the legs. A lot of movement for such a small toy. To transform Panther, you simply lay down his cat hoodie and put him on his paws. I love the head sculpt of the Panther mode. It's so silly, but it also has better eye paint. My only issue with it is, since the tail is curled up along the back, the end of his bum looks a bit too short. For silly trivia about this one, this toy can also represent an incarnation of Ravage in Beast Wars Metals manga, while the toy of Ravage himself was used as his son, Jaguar. Just look at this lovely family picture. And for our final subject, we have Rhino. We don't have an early design for him, but based on the final toy's head, Rhino probably started existing as a Rhinox toy. For personality, Rhino is a massive fan of ancient Cybertronian artifacts and scriptures. He's one of the few Beast Wars era characters to still cultivate the beliefs in ancient Cybertronian gods, Primus and Unicron. Other Maximals see this just as a silly hobby, but for Rhino it's his way of life. He believes the whole world is commanded by a weird unseen magical force. In fight, Rhino is equipped with a chest-mounted rocket launcher and the weird supernatural abilities like super speed, precognition and electrokinesis. He also believes that whenever he defeats an enemy, his spark joins his own. I don't want to sound biased, but Rhino is my favorite McDonald's toy. The idea of a mystical shaman rhinoceros robot is just so cool. It's a tad sad that his toy is probably the worst of them all. As a toy, Rhino stands at around 9 cm tall and is cast in mostly grey plastic for his body, with comically thin orange limbs sticking out of it. The dude looks like he is wearing a barrel on him. The only splash of colors is the red stripe on his chest, which maybe is his rocket launcher. His head is cast in purple with orange for his face and red for his eyes. For articulation, head can rotate 360, the arms can rotate 360, legs can kinda bend, but since it's just mounted on a rail, best he can do is just like wobble around. To transform Rhino, you just pull out his hoodie, fuse arms with Rhino front legs, rotate legs down, and you jam the robot mode legs into his butt. And here we have a lovely grey Rhino with some exquisite skin details. I don't know if you can see all the wrinkles and folds on my camera, but I can say that it looks great in person.
As mentioned earlier, there was also a fifth toy in this lineup named Under 3. Sadly, I didn't manage to get him for today's video, but if I ever do a sequel talking about the Transmetal toys, I promise I will try to include him. So, in my final opinion, the Beast Wars McDonald's gang is a mixed bunch. They have some interesting lore, characters, and are all over a really creative concept to simply revive an unused concept from the dawning era of the toy line into a fresh new take. So, if you ever find them in like a toy lot or a used toy section, I got all of those guys from eBay. I think I got Beetle alone. Rhino was on TF Nation, I think. Manta was in a set with Flak, and Panther was from a Facebook group, I'm not sure. I would 100% suggest picking them up. Thank you all for watching. Let's hope Rise of the Beast is as good as the preview reviews say it is. Bye!